not going to need measuring cups. So 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kenny.
All so much for joining me in this bonus history time. Hey guys, come on. Thank you for joining me in this bonus history time. We're going to be mummifying some chicken. And some of you are going to have chicken wings, chicken drumsticks, chicken thighs. It doesn't matter really. It's good to have the bone in. So this is going to be our first contestant here. Now, I've gone and already weighed it with my scale. This is 171 grams. And what we're going to see is we're going to be looking at what happens with the chicken over time. Now, the first thing that we want to do is we want to pad our chicken dry. So we're going to have our chicken out and we're going to want to pad it dry. So I'm using paper towels for this. I want to get it as dry as possible. And remember, if you're touching chicken, don't touch other things. You're going to want to wash your hands after doing this. Now, if you have gloves, you're a little better off. But please, please, please don't start scratching your face, licking your fingers, or anything gross like that, because this is raw chicken. Anything it touches, we want to make sure we wash very well. Now, after you have gone and dried your chicken off, all you have to do is then you're going to place it in a baggie. So I have a baggie like so, a sandwich baggie, and I've gotten my chicken dry. I'm going to put it in the baggie. All right. Now, I'm actually going to do 2 chickens today because I want to do like a little experiment to see if it's any different with the salts. And I have this chicken right here, which is actually 205 grams. So I'm going to once again pat it dry. And then after I get it dry, all the extra moisture off, I'm going to put it in a baggie. Anybody have any questions at this point? Gross, something just. No, we are not tearing off the skin. We're not doing it. We're leaving our pharaohs the way they are. So we're going to start talking about this in our class. The whole purpose of mummification is to preserve the body, to keep the body as similar as it was in real life. Now, since I touched raw chicken, I'm going to go wash my hands real fast. I'm just right over here. Now, we want to preserve the body because the Egyptians believed you needed the body in the afterlife. Wanted to wash them really well. So, they believed they needed the body in the afterlife because they believed every person had something called a ka. Now, we would use the soul. You only need 1 piece, Adelina. You don't need to have more than 1 piece. So what they wanted to have is they wanted the ka, the soul, to be able to go around in the afterlife and to leave the body, go into statues. But we have their bodies here, so their ka would always have a home. After you have your chicken patted dry and in your baggie, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your salt. Now, with your salt, you're basically going to want to cover everything up. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to start pouring it in. And it's going to take a lot. All right? Yes. They are. So I've got my chicken here. Now you want to make sure you get it on the bottom too. So don't let it just sit on top of it. You really want to get your entire chicken covered in salt.
Mr. Kenny, can you repeat the instructions, please?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Can you please repeat the instructions?
Okay, so you've patted your chicken dry. Yes, Samuel? Or Alexander, sorry. Then what you're going to do is you are going to place it in the baggie. And you're going to want to cover your chicken with your salt. Oh, poor Shania is grinding it. It's going to take you forever, Shania. Oh, poor thing. Grind, grind, grind. You're going to be grinding, 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 grinding. You could open it and use just a coarse. You don't have to have it fine, but that's up to you what you want to do. So like I said, I'm going to bury my piece of chicken in the salt. It's getting there. It's not quite. And you want to have it really in there. Now, there might be like a little part here or there that isn't completely buried. I'm going to use a little bit more. And like I was saying, I'm going to kind of move my chicken around in it to get it so that it's covered. A little bit more. Like I said, you're going to use a lot of salt. So while you guys are working on that, I'm going to work on my other chicken because you guys are only doing one. Like I said, I want to do two. So I want to kind of do a little bit of a science experiment here. Because I took the weight, as I told you, I'm going to see if one of these like dries the chicken out faster or better. And so the second salt I'm using is called Epsom salt, which is just a little bit different. People use it like they have a sports injury or something like that, or for relaxation. Some of your moms might have it where it's like scented Epsom salt so they can like have it in the bath. People who like bath bombs and stuff like that. This is one of those things that like is an ingredient. And this chicken's a little gordo here, so it's tough getting it under, but you want to do that. Yeah, I'm going to post this in our history chat. Don't worry, or history Schoology page.
I missed the previous instruction.
I'll just put it. I'll make a whole other folder, and I'll just have it chicken mummy. Call it chicken mummies or something obvious like that. Okay. I might have wanted to use a bigger baggie with how big this piece of chicken is.
Do I have enough salt?
Give me 1 second because I'm trying to not make a mess.
Mr. Kenny, do I need more salt?
Okay, so who asked me if they had enough salt? Could you please hold it up? That it does not look like enough because you want it like buried in the salt. See how the two of mine are buried like so? Looks like Riley's buried.
Is this good? Is mine good?
Yeah, it's looking pretty bare. Ah! My chicken tried to escape.
Salt. Is that right?
What? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Is this enough salt?
Is this enough? Is this enough?
Oh, yeah, it's buried. That looks great. Now, you don't want it completely full in the bag because we have another ingredient we want to put in. And this ingredient is going to be very important for this process, baking soda. Yeah, you need way more salt, Kirthana. You want it buried, hon. Now, baking soda is great because baking soda is not only going to help with the drying process, but it's also going to prevent it from being stinky. Baking soda is great at eating up odors, and these can get kind of funky. So I'm going to put, now that I have my chicken buried, I'm going to go put baking soda in there as well. Yes, Jackie.
How much baking soda?
I like to do roughly 1/3, about as much salt I put in. But everybody's mummy is different. It's a different size, like of chicken. So I just kind of eyeball it, and so I put it all on the top. And because what we're going to do soon is we're going to kind of mix it all up and massage it in the bag.
Do I have enough salt on them?
Mr. Kenny,
Huh?
Do we have enough salt?
is this enough salt for you?
That's looking okay. That's looking. Make sure it's buried. That's I mean the main thing. And like instead of being like, is this enough? Is it like, is your chicken sticking out? So if your chicken is sticking out, that means you probably want to add a little bit more. Like Austin's, I can't see Austin's, so that means he's probably good. Yeah, you might have like a little bit, but yeah, I think you're good.
Yeah.
So then I'm just putting baking soda in my Mummy #2 with the Epsom salt so that I can see if there's a difference between the different kinds of salt. What I want to do, and maybe I'll do this another time, is get like as many different kinds of salt as I can find and like do like all these tests to see what is going to be the best. Now, after I put my baking soda and salt, you want to seal the bag. Please, please, please make sure to seal the bag because you do not want this mess to happen, okay? We definitely don't want the mess. I'm going to throw these paper towels out. Gonna put this dish in the dishwasher.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Kenny.
Yes. What's your
Do you
question?
have to put in the baking soda now?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time, please?
Do you have to put in the baking soda now?
Yeah, you want to put in the baking soda. I'm gonna wash my hands again just to be safe. So you definitely want to make sure you keep your hands clean.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Can you use seasoned salt?
Sure. Any kind of salt is fine. Like I say, using the cheapest salt is best because you use a lot of it, but any kind of salt will work. If you have salt, it'll dry it out.
How do I know when to stop putting baking soda in?
Like I said, you want to roughly have about 1/3 the amount of baking soda that you have salt. And once you get to that point, it just you eyeball it. It's not a big deal. Like the baking soda is mostly just to prevent it from getting stinky at all. But what you're going to want to do after you have your sealed baggie with your chicken and baking soda in it, make sure once again you have it sealed. You're going to want to massage it, mix up the salt and baking soda together all around your chicken. And this is going to, you want to really rub it into the chicken's skin though, and its body. Pretend like your pharaoh has had a hard day and you are the masseuse to relax your pharaoh. Because remember, these chicken mummies, you know, the pharaohs of Egypt, they were the kings of Egypt, they were the generals of Egypt, and they were considered gods of Egypt as well. So you want to massage it in. All right?
I'm wrecking my chicken.
Oh my dude, you
How am I not wrecking my chicken?
look at mine.
Cool.
I don't know.
Put in the baking soda.
You know what?
And damn, our mic is on.
Yep, cover the legs and salt, and then top it off with some baking soda. All right, I massage that one. I'm going to massage this one, kind of mixing it all around to really get in there. So I'm curious about these Epsom salts because, like, the fine salt like really covers it, and this one is like just different. So I'm curious to how this Epsom salt's going to work. But I read somewhere on the internet saying that Epsom salt was closer to what the Egyptians actually used. And it was only like an extra 50 cents. So I thought I could go and do this experiment for science. So after you've gone, massaged it in your pharaoh, we're really done for part one. I mean, it's really that simple. We massage the solution, we mix it up into our guys. And what I'm going to do, just to be extra safe, I'm going to double bag it because I don't want anything getting out or being stinky or anything like that. So, oh, I need to label these. Where's the Sharpie? Now's a great time to think about what you want to name your pharaoh. Because, you know, like I said, these are your pharaohs. They're going into the afterlife. So I've got #1. And then I've got, oh, let's see, that one was how heavy was this? This was 171 grams. So we're going to be keeping track of how heavy these guys are going to be. We're actually going to be doing a little science as we do this too, because we all know that science is awesome. I mean, it's not as good as history, but it's pretty good. This one was 205 grams. All right, so I've got my mummies labeled. You know, you might want to label yours King Cluck or Cluck and Hammond or Chicken the Third. I don't know, it's up to you. You don't have to. But I think it's always fun to give them a name. And I'm putting these little baggies into a big baggie.
I am naming mine Chicken Tut.
Chicken Tut, I like it.
Mr. Kenny,
Yes.
have we used the cinnamon?
We're not using the cinnamon yet. So we saved our fragrant spices for the end. Because what's going to happen is after we dry our farrows out after a couple weeks, we're going to then oil them and put sweet smelling spices on them like cinnamon or rosemary, things like that. And then we're going to wrap them up. So the nice fragrant spices come at the very, very end. And so I've got my mummies in my bag. And hopefully you guys are getting to that point too. Do we have any questions?
Mr. Kenny.
Yes.
Mr.
I have.
How long are we going to keep them? After
Okay,
this,
that's a great
we
question,
will
Haley.
go-
So we are going to be putting these in for roughly 1 to 2 weeks. What you're going to want to do is you're going to be looking at this bag. If you start seeing a whole bunch of liquid in the bag, we're going to go and try it again. And we're going to take it out and we're going to repeat the process. We're going to dry it off. We're going to add new salt, baking soda. And overall, we're going to have probably 3 to 4 weeks where we're drying out our chickens. Because the goal of this is to remove as much moisture as possible. Because if our farrow has moisture, meaning liquid, our farrow is going to rot. And if our farrow is going to rot, they are going to be stinky and gross, and we definitely do not want that in our houses. All right? So just like with Egyptian mummification, they remove all the moisture. It's going to be the same thing for us. We want to get rid of all of the moisture. So I'm going to be paying attention to mine, but you guys have to pay attention to yours because we're all using different chicken. I mean, normally in school, we all have like similar because, you know, we go get the chicken all in one place and we do it all together. Since we're all using different, yours might take longer or slower than me. Like I said, in about a week, I'm going to go over this again, but you might need it sooner. And like I said, we're just repeating this process so you can literally watch this video. Yeah, you could put it in a paper bag. Make sure the first bag is plastic, though. I wouldn't have it all be paper, but yeah, paper bag's fine. And you guys could even have your mummies kind of together if you wanted. All right, so I'm going to stop this recording. And like I said, I'm going to post